We're recording this year's Christmas message in one of Cumbria's warm spots drop-in centres. It's in Keswick, where I live, and as you can see, it's proving a popular venue. Of course, it's open to anyone, so people are here for a variety of reasons, but the cost of living and especially heating crisis must be one of those reasons, and even when it isn't, we're all grateful for the warmth on another very cold day. And warmth is an important theme in the Bible. The warmth of God's love is like the rays of the sun, and Jesus baptizes with the Holy Spirit and with fire, a fire which burns out what is rotten and ignites passionate commitment and care. That warmth is also what lies at the heart of the familiar Christmas story, in which we see God's extraordinary love for the world expressed definitively in the birth of a child. And the whole history of the Christian Church is an account of that warmth spreading out from Bethlehem to the ends of the earth. So I think it's really appropriate that we should be here in a warm community space for this purpose. The warmth of God's love, the fire of His Spirit, doesn't just reach into church buildings. As we're so often reminded in the words of our ecumenical vision for Cumbria, God is for all, that is for everyone, everywhere. And being here prompts me to recall that God is concerned about every aspect of our lives, the material as well as the spiritual, and the practical as well as the philosophical. As human beings, we're made up of body, mind, and spirit, and the Incarnation, God becoming man in Jesus, the Word made flesh, the birth of Jesus, tells us that all three of these aspects of our existence really matter to Him. And that's why all three should also really matter to us, including the conditions in which people live, as well as their emotional welfare, mental health, and spiritual well-being. So warm centres like this gladden God's heart, as do food banks and organisations that provide affordable housing, and people who house refugees from Ukraine and Syria, and the work of Crisis at Christmas and other charities, and so on. Thankfully, it's a long list, and in all of it we see the warmth of God's love reflected in human beings. Of course, it would be better if none of those things were needed, but they are, and we're so grateful for them. The same applies to groups such as Linking Lives and here in Keswick, Two's Company, as they wrestle with the ever-growing issue of loneliness, and to those campaigning about some of the malign influences which are affecting the mental health of our young people, some of whom I had the privilege of meeting recently in Parliament. And it applies also to the preaching of the gospel of Jesus Christ, as so many in our society crave a deeper spiritual experience and search for meaning and purpose in their lives. That'll be happening this Christmas, as always, in a church near you, as carols are sung and Christingales are celebrated, which gives me the opportunity to pray that the warmth of God's love will flood into your heart this Christmas, and that you may know His indescribable peace in these most turbulent times.